Before he was a god, he was a man of flame, a man of range, a man who dared to hold thunder in his hands. He was born of royalty, raised by warrior, and touched by the divine. But destiny is no gentle hand. His name became legend, his wrath worship is fall. A whisper carried by wind and fire. They feared the storm, but high was the storm. Sango, Sango. The night Sango was born, the sky above Oyo cracked open with fury. Lightning tore across the heaven, illuminating the ancient city and unnatural flashes of blue and white. The palace of Alaafin trembled as thunder roared like drums of war. Midwives screamed as gusts of wind snuffed out their lamps. It was not just a storm. It felt like the gods themselves had descended in rage or celebration. And in the heart of it all, Queen Torisi screamed her final push as her son emerged into the world, not with the weak cry of a newborn, but with a roar that silenced the storm for a moment. The priest in the palace froze. This child, they whispered, was not ordinary. He was born on the coops of realms, half of royal Yoruba blood, half of Nupe warrior lineage, and fully clothed in mystery. Elders gathered in secret. Some said he was Jakuta reborn, the falling stone god of war and retribution. Others believed he was a dangerous omen, power too wild for human hand. Yet the boy named Sango merely opened his eyes and stared into the storm. Unblinking, outside an old priest fell into a trance, chanting, "The fire has come. The king who commands the sky walks among us." From an early age, Sango showed a nature unlike any of his peers. He learned faster, fought harder, and spoke with a fire in his voice that could silence a room. But it was his strange connection to the elements that frightened many. At age 5, he once stared into a rain and it stopped. At age 8, he touches a smoldering ember and it turned cold in his palm. He would often wander into the sacred grove alone, return with knowledge even the palace diviners could not explain. While other boys were taught archery and court manners, Sango studied Babalawo and spirit medium. He learned chants that could shake trees, incarnation that bent winds, and ritual that connected him to unseen realms. But this power came with consequence. He grew hot-tempered, prone to sudden rage. One afternoon during a sparring match with his elder half-brother, Sango's frustration boiled over. As he shouted, a bolt of lightning struck the ground between them. From a clear sky, his brother fled in terror. That day, the palace guards stopped meeting Sango gaze. Whispers began. He's not just a prince. He's something else, something dangerous. When Oromiyan died, the court fell into disarray. The Oyomesi, Council of Chiefs, expected the eldest son to ascend, but Sango refused to stand aside. He called the council together under a sky, heavy cloud and gave a speech that could echo through the palace like rolling thunder. The gods do not choose by age, he said, but by fire. The chiefs were stunned. That night, storm ravaged the city, and a lightning strike hit the Oba's ancestral shrine. The people began to believe, some out of hell and others out of fear. Warriors clan pledged themselves to Sango. Spiritual elders who had seen vision of a fiery ruler declared him the chosen one. His brother, sensing the tide, fled the city under cover of darkness, vowing revenge. Sango coronation was unlike any before. Drummer played until their arms bled. The sky lighted up with natural fireworks, and Sango stood beneath thunderclouds, holding his twin-edged axe, the Oshe Sango, like a divine weapon. But not all celebrated. Behind smiled, envy brewed. In the shadow of the palace, voice whispered, "What kind of kings bring fire with him?" And afar beyond the city wall, Dada Jaka, his most cunning brother, began to plot. That same night, while celebrations still echoed through the palace, Sango sat alone in the shrine of his ancestors. He closed his eyes and drifted into a strange dream. In heat, he stood before a great tree, engulfed in flame beneath a red moon. The tree whispered to him in tongues he didn't understand. Then a voice, calm, deep and terrifying, spoke from the tree. "Your fire will either light the world or consume it." He awoke gasping, drenched in sweat, the mat beneath him scorched. A servant burst in, eyes wide with fear. My king," he said, the border village are burning. Riders loyal to Dada Jaka have struck. Many are dead. They say he ride with fury and claim your throne is false." Without a word, Sango rose, gripping his axe. Outside, thunder rumbled as if awaiting his command. As he stepped into the courtyard, his warrior bowed. He mounted his horse, eyes blazing. The storm followed him. For the first time, his people saw the fire within their king and wondered whether it would save them or destroy everything. The air around Oyo was heavy and dread. Smoke rose from distant village, blackening the sky like an omen. Dada Jaka, the exiled brother, turned rebel, had railed warlord from the north and traitorous chiefs from within. His warriors struck swiftly and cruelly, setting fire to the farms that fed Oyo and poisoning the walls that sustained his people. As the cries of survival reached the city walls, fear gripped at the people's faith in their fiery new king. But Sango did not flinch. Standing atop the royal palace, he watched the horizon where the fire raged. "If he burns the land, I will burn his name from history," he muttered. He summoned his most trusted captain, Ogumola, the silent giant, and Elegba, the trickster tactician. Together, they devised a plan not just to defend, but to crush the rebellion. Sango would not wait behind walls. He would take the fight to Ajaka himself. The war drum sounded, and for 3 days the people watched their king march out, clothed in red, lightning in his eyes. Behind him, thousands of warriors chanted his name. Ahead, a kingdom awaits to be reclaimed by fire. The two armies met on the wide, cursed plains of Hekun, a place where blood has soaked the soil in ancient war. Sango's scouts reported that Dada Jaka had formed an alliance with Timi of Ede. Who is Timi of Ede? Timi Olofa, no. We are coming to a story. A cunning general whose knowledge of the tyrant gave them the advantage. But Sango wasn't relying on strategy alone. On the eve of battle, he entered a sacred cave alone. Inside, he burned incense and offered chants to the sky. When he emerged at dawn, the cloud had gathered. Though no rain came on the battlefield, Sango raised his axe and roared an incantation that split the silence. Lightning cracked across the sky and struck the enemy's front line. Chaos erupted. His warriors surged towards with divine range. Elegba tricked enemy scouts into turning on their own, while Ogumola carved a bloody path through the heart of Timi's men. Sango himself became a vision of terror, his eyes glowing, eyes light with stormfire. But victory came at a cost. 100 died, including loyal generals. Among the fallen was Oba's cousin, a childhood friend. When Oba wept of him, Sango turned away, unable to show his weakness. Akogi Onshoji. But that night, alone, he whispered the friend's name, and the storm wept with him.